Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Java Interesting Topics. Guys, today I will cover the topic interface evaluation using static and default methods part 2. So guys, if you have not seen my first part related to the interface static and default methods that was related to the compatibility for binary and source, then I will highly recommend you to watch that session first. I have provided the title and the YouTube link as well along with this site. So go ahead and watch that video first if you haven't watched the part 1. Now let's go ahead with the current session. So today what I'm going to cover is the second, third and fourth milestones. There was related to the what, why and the real world use case. So from this session we come to know what is default method and static method, why default and static method introduced in Java 8, and we would go through the really good real world examples, so that would make more sense to you and will be easy to understand these concepts. So now let's jump to our example, real world example use case itself. So guys, I thought to take an example of our day-to-day life related to the software programming world itself. So it is easier to know about the concept. So what I have done, I have taken a use case of the software world's programmer's life. Like in this use case, I have programmer as an interface here, and this programmer is interface and it has 5 implementing classes which are web developer, mobile developer, system programmer, security expert and data scientist. So we have an interface here which would have few features along with this, and 5 implementing classes. So just a real world use case so that we can understand what's going on with respect to the default and static methods, what are the uh, features or what are the need of the default and static methods along with this use case. So now let's discuss furthermore on this use case itself. So suppose in my use case I want to introduce few features for the programmer in my first version. So I'm writing my code, and in first version or first draft for this interface I want these 4 features. Like for programmer, every programmer would go through these 4 features, analysis and design on the task. The programmer can write the code, programmer can unit and integration testing, and the this interface can be involved into the deployment and the release plan. So these are the 4 basic features which would be introduced in the first version, and all the implementing classes that will be extending these functionality based on their requirement. And once we are done with the first version, and let's say after few months or a year you come to know that your software is really doing well and you have a lot of clients now, and now comes the new requirement that you need few more features to be added to the existing functionality or existing contract. So those features for an examples are this. So now you have added the new version of your software, and in this you have added 3 more features. Like now, earlier you were on the, say for an example, waterfall model, but you want to include now the agile scrum as well. For all programmers you have included 2 more things, 2 more features, like add new skill set, and you introduce the reward and recognition also along with that. So let's understand everything through an IDE itself. So that would make more sense to you. So let's jump to the IDE right now. So let me open the program. So we have this programmer interface with us, and as we have seen in the slides that we have four different features in our first version 1. These four features would be introduced for this programmer. So these four features are like analysis and design on task, write code, unit and integration testing, and deployment and release. So just for the sake of simplicity, I have taken only two implementing classes. So you can imagine that there are many more classes could be exist along with this. So the two implementing classes as of now are the first one is web developer. So for web developer, I'm overriding all the methods like this analysis and design, write code, unit testing, and the last one deployment and release. So simple methods and the print statement only so that we can understand or digest the concept easily. So we have the web developer and one more implementing class, that is the mobile developer. So just in the print statement itself, I have made few changes, like for mobile developer, I have replaced the string with the mobile instead of web developer here. So slight difference so that we can analyze if the code has been triggered from the web developer or the mobile developer. So based on my need, I have implemented, the all client have implemented these features based on their need. So what was the structure as of now in this IDE? I have programmer interface. I'm just writing the acronyms only. This is an interface, and I have two implementing classes here. So the first one is like web developer, and the second one is the mobile developer. All right. So this is mobile developer, and we have implemented all these four features into the web developer and the mobile developer respectively. So now let's look into the other classes. I have one more class, that is programmer client. This is my client program through which I'll test everything out from here. So what I have done, let me uncomment this part now. So what I have done, I have created an object of web developer and mobile developer here using the polymorphic way. So the interface is at left hand side and the respective implementation class is at right hand side. So kind of polymorphic object creation here. So what it will do when I call the methods of all these four methods of for the web developer object, it will trigger the web developer related stuff, and when I call all these four methods, it will trigger the mobile developer related methods here. So let's run this class once and look into the output. So have a look at here. The first four parts are belongs to the web developer itself, and the remaining four outputs belongs to the mobile developer. So it's a pretty much simple program what we have seen so far, what we do in our day-to-day life. Now let's have a few change in this design. I don't want to create an object in the my client class. Instead, I want that my own class should create an object for me. And that is a kind of, if you are familiar with the factory pattern, then I would replace the existing code creation with the factory pattern itself. So what I'll do, I have created one util class, programmer utils here, and this class has one method, that is the get instance method. What it does, it takes the programmer type as an argument here and return the related object based on the logic. So say for an example, your client program passed the web over here. So what it will do, I have done the logic has been implemented using the ternary operator. The type is checked with, let's say, the, as in this example I'm saying the web as a type has been passed, then it will create an object of the web developer, and if something else is passed to this method, then mobile developer would be returned from this class. So simple logic, simple ternary operator logic which returns the different object based on your need. You can apply different logic as well, like the if else and something else, if based on your wish. So the simple class, I don't want to create an object of this class myself. So let not the client classes created that particular object. So we have created one utility for them. And now let's one more time the same program using this utility, and then we will jump into the default and static method part. So let's go back one more time to the client class, and let me comment this out for now, and this one also. And say for an example, this part we can uncomment. See here what we are doing. I have created, I'm calling now get instance method and passing the web here. So what this utility class will do, it will return me the web developers object based on the input I'm passing in. So what it will do as an output, if I rerun this program, then web developer related methods would trigger and give the respective output. So let's run one more time this program. See here. So simple stuff so far we have done. First thing, we just have created an interface and two implementing classes, and the implementing classes which were web and mobile developer have implemented those four methods according to their need. And first time we have created a polymorphic way objects and have seen the output, and secondly a slight changes in our design, and right now we are using a factory method here, so that instead of creating the object ourselves, let the framework or the utility class we have written create that object for the loose coupling purpose or the better design purpose. So when I have passed the web over here, it was giving me an output of web developer related stuff. If I pass something else, say for an example mobile, then it will give me the output related to the mobile developer class methods. So see one more time. Now here we go, mobile here, right? So far so good. So this software we have developed, and this is in first phase, and after some time, after few months or down the line year or so, you realize that it is a time to enhance your programmer interface itself, and you want to introduce now few more features, like we have seen earlier in the slides, that you want to add three more features along with your program. So what will you will do, there could be few possibilities for that, and we will look into those possibilities now. If you want to add new features into your interface, what you gonna do on those cases. So just look at this part as of now, and say for an example we have introduced these three features in our class. So now what will happen, we all know that whenever we introduce an interface, a new feature into our interface, the respective implementing classes get complaining and have the compile time error over there. We have to implement that particular code into the implementation class. So what would be the first design to resolve this part? We'll have to implement that particular new feature into the implementation class itself. So say for an example, in mobile developer I want to introduce those features now, then I have to implement those methods, right? So I have implemented those methods, and just for the printing purpose just write down their respective terminologies, like simple words mobile developer and then colon agile scrum, and then same set of things need to be done here also. The mobile, again same thing, and I just write new skill set, and this time around for same thing applicable for award and recognition also. So and these four features would be introduced into, sorry, these three new features would be introduced, need to be introduced into the web developer as well, right? So I just copy and paste, and instead of mobile I replace it with web. So I have replaced this part now, and we can run one more time a program, whatever we wish. Like say for an example, the client program wants to print two new features only, or let's include the third one also. Agile Scrum, and the third one is, sorry, all right. So these three features get added here. So if I print this, then you can see that these three get printed here. These three new features printed over here. And if I pass web as an argument to create a web developer object, then it should print the web developer related stuff also along with this. Now let's think some more on this. Imagine a situation where, as of now, we have taken two implementing classes only along with this. But what will happen if you have hundreds of implementing classes along with this? So say for an example, this is your interface, and instead of this, let's go to the slide itself. So okay, let's look into this. As of now, in our client class, we implemented only web developer and the mobile developer. Now assume you your program was really good, your software was really good, and the lots of implementing classes or the lots of client classes are using that features. And say for an example, there are total 100 subclasses which have implemented that interface. Now you have released version 1, first version, and in that version you had five different features with that version. So all these clients were using that five features along with them, and later on you realize that you have to come up with three more features. So in new version you introduce three more features into the interface. Now what could be a consequence when you add three more features? And suppose, say for an example, the web developer and mobile developer continuously come up to you and saying this, please add these three features now, we really need this. And you have implemented all these three features like the award and recognition, or whatever we have discussed earlier, the features uh, uh, these new skill set and the agile scrum also there. So those were needed by the web developer and the mobile developer. But what if the system programmer or the security expert or the data scientist does not need those new features? Then what will happen? If you make changes into your interface itself, the system programmer, security expert and data scientist unwillingly need to implement those features along with them. So that would be something burden on them. They have to implement those features and just need to empty that implementation, so that they are not doing anything, but just for the sake of completeness or fulfill the contract, they have to unnecessarily involve those features in their respective classes. And nobody would like such kind of features, that once they have done something and now the things are not working and failing for them, and they have to write the unnecessary code for them. So the first design along with our new version was not of great support for the end users. So now let's have a look at the another way. What could be the other possible way our client can do? So we are enhancing our design. So far what we have done this first part, add unimplemented method. And what was the problem? That all implementation classes need to implement all interface methods even if they don't need that. So now let's have a look at the other way around. Let's change some more thing into our API or the existing design, or how we can do that. So we are discussing so far whatever we know with respect to the interface and their implementing classes. So now let's understand the second way or second approach which we can apply along with that. So what you realize that, okay, only two type of implementing classes need these three new features. So why don't we do something like that, implement create a new interface for all these new interface related features for the web developer and the mobile developer only, instead of everyone else. So what you will do, say just for the simplicity, let's write one new feature only. So what I have done, I create an interface I, and I'm just using the acronyms reward and recognition. So this interface I have created, and a respective method I will create reward and recognition here. Again, I would use the acronyms here. So this method I have created. So what I'll do now, my existing class like web developer would implement I interface reward and recognition also along with it, and the mobile developer would also implement these features along with this along with the programmer interface. So now these two classes would have two interfaces implemented. First one is the programmer, which have the original 5 features, and we have created the interface, new interface, the separate interface. Let's say we have 3 features, so we created 3 new interface along with their respective methods, and these two classes implementing those features. So what's happening now, it would certainly resolve our problem, and it would not impact anything on the system programmer, security expert, and data scientist part of code. But what we have done, even if those new features were related to the programmer, we have created a separate interfaces. And now the imagine a situation in future, you would add a few more interfaces, then the same design you will follow, then it would be the endless activity, and your maintainability would increase so high, because the more number of classes, the more maintainability would be required to maintain your code, right? So again, that is not a good way of programming, because logically we can think that these features which would get added was part of programmer interface itself, but just not that particular code does not break for others. We introduce in a way that we created a separate interface, and the every other implementing classes which does not want these new features should not impact due to that introduction. So we have done something like this design, but this is again not a good design, and it would be really cumbersome, and more maintainability would be required for this. So far we have discussed the two way, and both are familiar to us, and these things we were using before Java 8. Like, these are the known things. Whenever we get added new features with the interface, these were the way we resolving such kind of issues. So there could be one more possibility over here to resolve this particular issue. That could be like, you have to change now entirely your design. That could be, say for an example, that is programmer interface, and now here this part you introduce one abstract class. So say you have abstract programmer. I'm again writing the acronym only. Just assume that A is like an abstract and P is like programmer. So I write down the abstract programmer, and extending, implementing all the features into the abstract programmer. And if I don't want to implement it, have those features abstract here only, and all my implementing classes now extending the abstract programmer instead of interface itself. So every class is extending this feature. So the advantage of this, the new things get added into the abstract programmer. It would not the its child classes need not to change anything respectively on their classes. Only those classes which would like to override those features can do that functionality. Otherwise you can give your default implementation there, and through the rule of inheritance, everything would be available to respective implementing classes. But again, few things, you have to entirely change your design. And secondly, once you program for the abstract class, not for the interface, you have to pay the other cost. Like, now you are losing the multiple inheritance functionality forever. Say for an example, in future web developer wants to extend some other functionality or other class it would like to extend, it cannot do because it has already extended the abstract programmer class. So we are losing the particular multiple inheritance part or the extending part forever, because this class like web developer already extending the abstract programmer class. Again I'm writing the acronyms. So this is again not a good practice. We keep on ending with the bad design itself. We have changed entire our design, and that does not make sense. Again the lot of time would be required to implement that, and secondly it would not be a good design also. So far we have discussed three different approaches whenever we introduce a new feature into our interface. First one was to implement into the interface itself and let the implementing classes just implement those unimplemented method respectively and in their classes. Second way was we have seen like create a separate interface for every new feature, and whosoever is required those features can only implement those classes, but again the maintainability issues with that. And the third approach could be we can introduce the abstract class in between the interface and implementing classes and derive everything from there, but that is again not a good practice. So what to do then? So because of these challenges and these bad design, or I would say anti pattern, Java come up with new approach in Java 8 itself. They think that why not introduce a concrete method into the interface itself. It could be a default method or a normal method, or it could be a static method also. And if we are able to achieve that, then lot of pain area like we have seen that in new features the function in new version the new features seems to be like the programmer's functionality itself rather than going to here and there. So it could be included with the programmer feature itself instead of creating new interfaces and just scattered your logic here and there. So let's look that part now into the IDE itself. So let's go one more time into the IDE. And now what we'll do, I'll comment that out this section, right? And so let me introduce these two stuff only for now. So say for an example, I want to test with the follow agile scrum and add new skill set only these. So what I have done, I have created the default implementation here, the following follow agile scrum and add skill set inside the interface itself. So see here, now interface can have the concrete method from the Java 8 onwards, and do not get confused with default keyword. It's not like an access modifier. It's altogether a new keyword which put in front of the concrete method inside any interface. So what is an advantage of these features? Now have a look at this part. So I'll go one more time here and will remove the unnecessary part from these code. Okay, and from the web developer also let me remove that part. We don't need this now. And if I run now, so you can see that the respective implementing classes have the four features only as of now: the mobile developer, and web developer both have the four features only, and the additional new features are will come up from the programmer interface itself. We have given the concrete implementation here, so let's test it one more time in this class. So let us run this now for the web developer. See here, these two get added here without touching my implementation logic. If I run it for the mobile, then it would give the output like related to the mobile developer itself. So pretty much easy work. Lot of pain have been taken away from the implementing classes now from Java 8 onwards. Like we don't have to write any unrelated code here, and say for an example your mobile developer wants to give its own functionality to related to the newly added feature, then it can override that particular part also along with it. So say for an example it wants to give some other stuff. What, let me see what new feature I have introduced: agile scrum and add new skill set. So let me override add new skill set. So I have just overridden it and say this one wants something else now. Add skill set according to, so it can easily do this. And if you run one more time this client class for the mobile developer, the output should come instead of add new skill set, the whatever we have written here. So see here, add skill set according to the mobile developer. So you can give the default feature into your respective interface itself, and that would be available to all implementing classes without writing any additional code. And if, say for an example, any implementing class wants to override that feature, it can do it easily without paying additional cost for others. So that is really good design. Now let's have a look at the static method in our part. So again coming back to this programmer interface, and say for an example this one again, the if you would look into the collection and collections class, collection interface and collections utility class, a lot of utility static methods have been added to support the collection API itself over there. So nowadays it is considered anti-pattern because that is a part of collection API itself, and if that features related to the Java 8 would have been introduced earlier, then all those features could have been part of that interface itself. So if you look into that part, like if I show you the collections API, both interface and API, so both are related classes, and the collections class, which is utility class, if I press Ctrl O, you can see lot of static methods along with this API. You see the S representation for the static itself. So all these static methods are part of the collection API itself, but we have written separate class for that. So there is no need from Java and 8 onwards to write these kind of classes. So what we can do, I can come up again in my original class, and what we were doing, we have written one of the utility class, programmer utils, and we had static method here. What it was doing, it was creating an object and return it to the client class. So we can introduce this static method feature into our interface itself now from Java 8 onwards. So what I will do, I will enable this also. So now let's have a look at this method. I just given it another name. I don't want to comment out this part as of now, leave as it is. So what I have done, but I will not using the programmer util class going forward in the explanation in this program. So I have given the name like get instance 1, and the other functionalities are intact, the same functionality we have. So now let's test this program into our programmer client class one more time, and this time around we would be using the get instance 1 feature. So let me comment this out, and let's test this part now. Just enable this part, and this method belongs to the. So what I have done, get instance 1 I'm using. So what I'm doing now, instead of programmers util, that part is commented now, I am having that method from the interface itself, programmer, then get instance method I'm calling here, and passing the mobile argument here. So it will give me the an object of the mobile developer itself, and I'm calling few methods, one method from the first version and the second method from the new version. They add new skill set, so we just can observe the output itself. No need to include every methods every time. So see here, the same things get printed. Whatever the desired output we expected, that is only get printed over here. So what we understood now, that instead of writing new utility classes, the same logic, the static method logic, can also come along with the interface itself. So our design has been so much robust now. So the interface definition have been changed so much drastically into the Java 8 itself. You have now the abstract methods. I did not put it abstract in front of method, but that get by default added with the methods. So in Java 8 for interface, you have abstract methods, you have default methods now, and the same time we have the static method along with the interface itself. So lot of things we get to know along with this session, that we have seen the few designs like the earlier designs we used to do whenever there are some changes expected into the interface. Then what was the consequences, what were the earlier three designs we used to do before Java 8, and now we have seen that so much smooth way we can implement those things using the default and static method into the interface itself. So now let's coming back to here. So we have seen all the possible features here, and one last thing, that is kind of conclusion for this particular session. Like as I said, we would be covering what is the interface, the default and static method, and why it get introduced. So what questions answer we have now, that what enable you to add new functionality to the interface of your libraries and ensure binary compatibility with code written for older versions of those interfaces. So if you are not clear about the binary compatibility, I would request again to go through the my first part of the same session, and then the things would get clear more to you. And why we introduce the static and default method with the interface, then just to enable interfaces to be evolved in compatible manner after their initial publication. So these two questions we have thoroughly seen in along with this class, and other than that we have seen the real world session, real world use case also. So guys, there are still plenty of things left with respect to the default and static methods in interface. In my coming up session, I would be covering the part 5, 6, 7, which is related to the JDK library, and we have not yet compared the newly interface with the abstract class, and what are the rule of multiple inheritance, as we can have the concrete body with the part of interface itself. So how to resolve the problem like diamonds problem and all, and of course I'll introduce the interview questions also. So I would highly recommend you that if you want to be notified on real time, then please subscribe my channel, and if you like this video tutorial, then leave your comment and like this video, and I'll see you in my next class. Until then, bye and happy learning. Thanks.